It's not quite theatre in the round, it's more traverse. Yeah, isn't it? So I have to keep turning. Sophia, thank you. And thanks for inviting me. Sometimes when people speak or are listed to speak, others will check them out on the internet. And actually, if you go onto my website at the moment, you'll actually see it's hacked. I got an email from a friend on Wednesday that said, look, there's something wrong with your website. So I went on, and sure enough, there's a Middle Eastern, I think it's pro-Gaza, but it also claimed to be from East Turkestan. Don't know what that was, but it looks beautiful, and the music is hypnotic. So I kept going back, because I couldn't do anything about it. And I don't know who to go, because I'm not a techie, to sort it out. So if you do go on davidharding.net, you'll get some nice Middle Eastern music. So I first of all obviously have to declare my credentials in terms of collaboration. And Sophia did mention it, that I've collaborated with Rossborough for 9 years. And it began by an informed accident. The thing that Pascal called chance favors the prepared mind. I think you have to be in that position. Simply, I came across a memorial to Walter Benjamin and wanted to make a work about it. I became obsessed by the memorial. I was interested in Benjamin, and I knew that Rossborough was interested in Benjamin. Because of my physical limitations, I knew I couldn't do the work myself, but together we could. And so we've been making work for 9 years, as I say, and it was for us a new departure. It took us to places and to do things we could not previously have envisaged. And it's involved literature, philosophy, music, singing, politics. And all 6 of our films and the associated artworks have been imbued with some of these. And our latest exhibition is in the Kunsthalle in Basel. Next year will be our 10th anniversary, and we hope to do something special for that. My other credential is that when we set up the environmental art course at Glasgow School of Art, the possibility for collaboration was included by running workshops in the early part of the course that offered the students the opportunity to experience what collaboration was like. And even when we later on set up the MFA, in the early years of it, John Calcutt and myself each year did a lecture to the students on collaborative art. And so a declaration of my own. What is collaboration? For me, it means to go somewhere and do something that you would not otherwise have done. It's about achieving something that would not have been possible to do on one's own. Otherwise, why do it? It does therefore demand an attitude that leads to processes that are alien to the notion of the individual as the single donor of meaning. It involves suppressing, overriding attitudes of the individual, of individual urges, and in so doing, listening to others, absorbing their thoughts and skills and attitudes with shared mutual respect and producing new and different work. I want to say a few words about how collaboration fared in the 20th century, and then hope that through the declarations that we get here, we look forward to getting a feel for where collaboration is today. And I wonder if any of you who are presenting the declarations have faced negativity about the fact that you collaborate. So in the 20th century, despite the collaborative works by radical artists in the early 20th century that challenged the dominance of the individual, and then in the later part of the 20th century, with examples of a collaboration like Gilbert and George, art schools, academia, were in the main unwilling or unable to positively embrace collaboration as a legitimate way of making art. While individual staff were sympathetic, when it came to critique and to assessment and marking, academia has found it difficult to respond. This was also the case within the commercial art world. For the large part of the 20th century, it was generally impossible for works to be taken seriously unless they were done by an individual. And I always like to mention two examples here of the art market actually suppressing the reality of a collaboration. The artist Mark Boyle was the named artist for works that were, from the outset of his career as an artist, collaborative. He and his wife, Joan Hills, worked together to produce the groundbreaking work that they did in the 50s and 60s. In fact, the project for which they are best known, Journey to the Surface of the Earth, was Joan's idea. And later, of course, they were able to, let's say, come out. They could actually declare they were collaborators. And the Boyle family was set up. And it was the same with Christo. He could not, throughout a bit his career, actually declare that his partner, his wife, Jean-Claude, was also a collaborator with him, and that some of the great projects that he did were her idea, or grew from her mind. It's interesting that these two collaborations were husband-wife-partner type of collaborations, and I actually know quite a few others who were partners in that sense of husband-wife partner. But that very close personal relationship. And that's just an interesting fact. The other thing, of course, to note that the hidden collaborators in the early days were female. But I think that has changed since then. I think we now have a climate and a cultural attitude in which collaboration is no longer seen as a lesser art practice. Another issue I think that needs to be thought about, and I'm sure that those who do collaborate have addressed it, is what is the collaboration? I think there are degrees of collaboration that, and I think there's a true collaboration. And I'd like to hear you attack that later. I'll take the example of Ian Hamilton Finlay. Artists working with Ian, and I did a couple of collaborations with him, would be sent an idea that needed to be envisaged in drawing, and another artist with a particular skill or skills might then be invited to actually make the work. This process, of course, is now actually really widespread in the present conceptual art world of delegating work to others to make. So this for me was not a true collaboration, which to my mind is when two or more artists come together who share ideas and skills and produce work out of an evolved process of mutual understanding and respect. True collaboration is ab initio. In other words, true collaboration begins at the beginning. So we look forward to being surprised and enlightened by the groups presenting their collaborative declarations today. A declaration is nothing if it doesn't mean nailing one's colours to the mast in this city of discovery. So, who have we first? We have a declaration by Full Eye, and Anne-Marie Copstake, Katie Dove, Ariki Porteous will do that. And then we'll have one by Live Publishing. This seems to be a large group that have been working with Studio Jamming for weeks now, and they're producing work as the day will go through. They were formed to respond to this project of Studio Jamming. And then third, we'll have Rachel Disbury and Lada Wilson. They began collaborating together about 18 months ago. Then we go into the writing, and then we have a fourth collaboration, Dorian Brown and Jack Payton. They started collaborating at art school, and they graduated in 2013. So, full eye, full on. Let's go. Thank you.